Welcome to Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. Today, we're looking at Thornbridge's Jaipur and find out if it's truly a peak beer within the Peak District. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. All right, so this is another bucket list beers, top rated beers episode.
Top rated beers.
Yeah, we thought we'd go with Jaipur because it was one of the first when I was looking at these beers for the blog that I've only done like 3 entries on, but when I was doing the research for what I wanted to do for that, Jaipur was the one beer that was in all of the books that I looked in. So, it feels like it's a fairly significant beer. It's also 20 years of Jaipur this year. So I thought that was quite interesting.
I can't believe, that does feel wild. I can't believe it. The worst part is,
2025 was 20 years ago.
I hate that. I hate that so much. But we picked out to do these beers and we were like, we'll put it in order. And then as we were putting in the order, it was like 20 years of Jaipur and here's this gift set that's coming out. And I was like, right. I'm already on the website. I can't wait now. I'm ordering now.
So we've got a few different ones, but we're going to do, in the episode today, we're going to look at original Jaipur and alcohol-free Jaipur. I've not had an alcohol-free one yet, so I'm excited to see how it stacks up.
I didn't even know that it was an option until we were looking on the website and I was like, oh, what is this? But yeah, we just thought we'll keep this episode simple because that's what we did with other other top beer episodes. We're like, let's keep it simple. Let's just look at the beer.
Yeah.
So I think the only one that we did was the Julius, and that was because it was like, I'm like, look, you got one, you can have Julius and the variants, and this is the one chance you're going to get this. Because I'm not muling these. I'm not muling 4 packs of Julius back again. It's just ridiculous.
Go back and look at our Hype Beers episode if you want to know more about that. And hear
Queen Julius.
Tori's wrath about 4 packs. And how great Queen Julius
only being able to buy 4 packs. I'm still angry every time. Every time. I'm like, oh, could you just at least do a mix pack, people? A mix pack. And it's when they do a mix pack, it's never the ones you want. And you're like, these did not include the ones that I wanted because they know what they're doing. You gotta get them. Queen Julius, I think, still takes the absolute cake, whether you're having it like in date or beyond the date.
I don't think you can see it in my screen. No, it is above my head, but you can't see it in my.
Mine
are
above mine as well.
It's like
I've got a lovely shelf that's there. I also have, side note, like on my lovely shelf, because I've got some work stuff and I've got like some other bits. I've got photos of Phelan. I've got a Pokemon card of Phelan that I got as like a Secret Santa gift. And I've got this like bulletin board with all these beer memories of like things. And I've got my Julius cans. And I've clipped out I ordered from Queer Brewing like the other day, and clipped out on their box, they had put a sticker on it that says Gayness is good for you. And I was like, I'm not going to throw this out, am I? So I clipped it out, and it sits above my desk next to my fake Lego of Clippy. So
nice.
Clippy from Word.
The little paper clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee there's going to be people that are listening to this that are like, what is Clippy? It's the original Copilot. That's what you've got to know. The original Copilot. Look up Clippy.
About as efficient as Copilot too. So.
I would argue that Clippy's potentially more efficient than Copilot. But yeah, I've got my Clippy and my Gayness is good for you. So yeah,
I love
it.
Right, before we get into anything, shall we crack this beer? I feel like the heat is on in the UK at the moment, so I've got the can.
It's so warm. I was so looking forward to drinking this.
Yeah.
I've
got the can.
I will say I've also got.
I knew you were going to buy the hot sauce.
It's not. It's pineapple and mango table sauce. I reckon that would go really good with like a papadum or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, look at this, the Jaipur. I can't wait to try that. But I thought I'd show that. But yeah, I got the bottle and the can, but I thought I'm going to save my can and drink the bottle. I was worried because I thought I saw some floaties in it, but I think it was just trapped carbonation bubbles, so it's all fine now. I panicked and I was like, what am I going to pour? And how is there even bits in it? What? But it's fine. I think it's just carbonation.
It's a lovely, mine's like a lemony yellow.
Same.
Yeah.
We were going to do side by side because I thought we could do like bottle and can side by side, but then I ordered both, you didn't, so we're like,
I didn't.
Forget that idea. Forget that idea. We're not doing that.
We'll just compare over the interwebs. Mine has also got a lovely fluffy white head on it.
Mine doesn't, but that could be my glass. So,
all right, what are you getting on the aroma?
I even rinsed it first.
Oh no,
lots of grains.
Oh yeah,
it's very yeah, mine's very grainy.
I'm getting like lemon,
very light lemon,
grapefruit, citrus.
I think for me it's grapefruit more than lemon, and I think the grains is like kind of the most powering stuff, but then you get those citrus notes, especially the grapefruit, and it's lingering quite a bit. It all comes together so nicely. Like it's like wrapped up in a nice little beer ball. It makes me want to drink it, especially with how hot it's been. I am roasting, so I'm just going to drink it, and then we can talk tasting notes because I want to drink it.
Cheers.
It's crisp. It's refreshing. There's a bitterness. It's not too bitter. It's just the right amount of bitterness, and you definitely taste, I think for me, the top tastes are bitter and the citrus notes. It doesn't, the graininess that I smell the heaviest isn't the loudest in terms of the taste, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's very refreshing. We've got the right weather for it. I think it's a classic beer for like a classic reason, right? It's got that classic taste. Just say classic.
It does taste like classic pub. Like it gives me like pub vibes.
Okay.
But like not in like a standard like real ale way, but like it just gives me, I don't know why. I don't know what about it. It just gives me pub vibes. Okay. In a good way.
Yeah. I think
but I was just chuckling to myself.
Yeah, I feel like
I wanted to say hands down it's Maris Otter. Like I took a smell and I just wanted to go, oh, it smells distinctly of Maris Otter. Yeah, and then I didn't. And then I did it because I went, well, that makes me sound like a dick.
My God. Accurate.
And I have no idea if I don't know if it actually is, but I'm just like, to me, it immediately went like Maris Otter.
Yeah, no, it is. Like when I get into my notes about this in a minute, you will find out.
I love this so much because I was chuckling to myself, like, and I was like, do I say it? Do I not say it? And I was like, because I smell it, and immediately was like, oh, Maris, like, it was a casual, like, oh, Maris Otter. And then I was like, no, you can't say that. You can't say that out loud.
You tell me that you can't judge beer. Come on. Just picked Maris Otter.
And if it was anything else, I think I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I can always tell like a Maris Otter, and that's it. I don't know why. Anyway, sorry, carry on without my nerdy distraction.
Okay, so do we want do we want to know about Thornbridge? Do we want to know about the beer style first? Which way round do you want to do it?
Oh, can we maybe do, before we talk about the beer style, could we maybe just high-level tasting notes of what this is, I guess let's do the beer style, because I just want to be able to keep that in mind when I'm sipping the rest of it.
Okay, so BJCP, this is an American IPA. That is, we know we love our numbers, 21A. American IPA within category 21 IPA. Our overall impression is a hop dominant, bitter and often citrusy beer, balanced with just enough malt to avoid being thin or one-dimensional. It's got a clean fermentation that allows the hops to shine. In the aroma, prominent hop aroma, typically citrus, floral, pine, or fruity from American and New World hops. Low to medium malt presence, caramel or toast optional. Clean yeast profile, esters and alcohol may be noticeable but should not dominate. Appearance, colour ranges from medium gold to light amber. It's got good clarity, a white to off-white head with good retention. And the flavour, hop flavour is front and centre, echoing aroma characteristics. Medium to high hop bitterness, clean malt character. Dry finish is common, lingering hop bitterness is typical. On the mouthfeel, we should get medium bodied with moderate carbonation, smooth texture, no astringency, and may have light warmth from alcohol in stronger versions. What is the ABV? So the ABV of this is 5.9. I've got the same. ABV should be between 5.5 to 7.5. It's quite a wide range there.
Well, I was going to say, what a range. What range of ABV?
SRM is 6 to 14.
Obviously, I could have told you
IBUs
that.
are 40 to 70. The serving temperature should be around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
It should be a lot colder than what it is right now, probably,
yeah.
having sat on my desk for even 10 minutes.
Serving glass, a Spiegelau. That's those ones that have got like the ridges on the bottom of the handle bit. A tulip, a nonic pint, or a craft master, all of which enhance hop aroma and showcase clarity and head retention. Now, the commercial examples that BJCP give are very American focused. And
I was waiting for you to go, they give Thornbridge.
They do not. I had a look, and there's no UK examples. I mean, it is an American IPA, so I suppose we'll forgive them. They suggest Bell's Two Hearted Ale, Firestone Walker Union Jack, Russian River Blind Pig, and Stone IPA. But I think this is a pretty good example. I think if you compared it to some of those other American IPAs, the colour might be a little bit light.
Well, I was going to say the colour sounded like style-wise, it was a darker colour, and I think I'm getting less hops, specifically, like less overtly hop, because obviously some of that's coming from hops, but I don't think it's like when they say like aroma-wise, you'll get the hot, like I don't smell that and go that, oh, the citrus, that's hop citrus, like that, it doesn't hit me like that. So I think those are probably the two key things that as you were reading it out, I was like, yeah, that's different. And also like when you were saying about like the clarity and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know if it's just because also my glass might be starting to be condensation heavy, but like it's quite clear, but it's not as clear as like there is almost a very light, like if I can see through to the other side of it, but it is slight, like ever so slightly distorted. So I think I've had definitely clearer, but yeah, it's hard to tell because it's with this heat, it's condensation is a pain.
And I think as well, so looking back at information about when Jaipur was first brewed and what they were going for, so it was originally created in 2005. At that time, the beer scene in the UK was still relatively new to bold American hop flavours. So they did use Maris Otter for a backbone of British malt, but they then used a bunch of American hops to create the flavours, and they used originally, can't verify, like I'm not verifying that this is exactly the hop mix that they're using now, but when they started, they're using Chinook, Centennial, Antonum, Simcoe, Columbus, and Cascade. So that hop combination should be giving flavours of pine and citrus, and then that's balanced with the biscuity malt. Now, I don't think I'm getting as much pine now, but I'm definitely getting that citrusiness, and that kind of bit of bitterness that you should be getting.
I have to say that my favourite thing about when you were just saying all that was my brain immediately was like, it's giving Like when you said it should give this, I'm like, oh, it's giving. Oh, it's not giving pine. Like that is not what it's giving.
It's giving
for me
American
either.
Sea Hops 2005.
It's giving 05 Sea Hops is what it's giving. I don't know why. It's hot. It's been a week, and it was just like the second you were like, yeah, and I was just like, yeah, what is it giving? And then I also went to go see if if anything was written on the back of the bottle, and I realized there's a lot of Japanese written on the back of it, so that was exciting because I can read some of that.
Oh no, it does say, right. So my can says Chinook Centennial Antonum Simcoe Columbus Cascade. Yes, exactly the same. So it should be giving. So on the eye, I've got a little.
What is it giving?
On the eye, it should be straw. On the taste, it should be lemon zest and quaffable. On the nose, you should get honey and lemongrass, and you should pair it with a Thai curry.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I think on the nose it's not how I would have described it on the nose until you've said that, and then I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like I definitely do get that, and I could see how it would pair really well with like a really nice curry.
Yeah,
to be fair. So that's fantastic.
Before we have a look at the history of Thornbridge, shall we crack open this alcohol-free version so we can compare it?
Yeah, I like in the bottles.
Yeah.
They have like a similar design that like complement each other. So the normal one, the alcohol one's the orange with the white, and the alcohol free is the white with the orange. It's nice.
On the back of the bottle, it says, Jaipur is our flagship IPA, celebrated with over 100 awards worldwide. Crafted with the same ingredients, this alcohol-free version offers the much-loved flavour profile of vibrant grapefruit, aromatic pine, and zesty citrus. Right, well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, I want to know how they compare. Although one's been in the fridge significantly longer, so. This one's poured with much more of a head on it, comparatively. So this glass was clearly the better glass.
It's slightly more yellow. Like slightly more gold.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the condensation on the glass on one, but it feels like it's more clear, like just that touch more clear. It has a very heavily lemony. It's missing the Maris Otter for me in the smell.
Well, I'm getting more grapefruit, and I'm getting a little bit of pine in this one.
It might be because you've influenced me, but I feel like that lemon is now grapefruit.
Yeah.
But only because I feel like now that's in my head. But I still stand by it's lacking the Maris Otter.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't get the pine either in mine, so.
All right, cheers.
It is. I'm going to take a second sip before I say anything. Right off the bat, I will say, I feel that it's different, but I don't think it's unenjoyable.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's too cold, because I'm not getting a lot from it in the flavour, so I'm thinking mine's too cold. I'm just going to hold it for a little bit, see if I can get a bit of warmth in it.
I don't think mine is too cold.
Very light.
I just think it is, for me, it's quite thin comparatively, and it is definitely quite light. But I think that there is a bitterness in it for me, and there is a lemoniness in it for me. I don't think it tastes the same as a normal so I think if I went in and I was like, I want an alcoholic Jaipur, but I can't have alcohol today, or I don't want to have alcohol today, or they don't have Jaipur on, they've got the non-alcoholic one, but that's really what I'm craving. Like, I don't think this would, off the bat with 2 sips, maybe I'm not being fair, I need to keep drinking it, which I will do. Right off the bat, I kind of go, it's not scratching that itch for me. But
I agree.
don't think it's unenjoyable. Like, I think that it feels like its own thing. It doesn't necessarily fully feel like a beer. Like, it won't scratch the itch for a beer for me. But if I wanted something that was like just different than juice or soda, like, it's not. I have had some really bad alcohol-free beers that don't taste like beer, but they also don't taste nice. This doesn't necessarily scratch the beer itch for me, but it's not unenjoyable to drink, if that makes sense.
If I was craving a Jaipur, this wouldn't hit that spot. If I wanted a non-alcoholic beer, this is a good non-alcoholic beer.
I think it's got that like carbonation as well. I think if I want, like, it feels really weird to say, but I think for me it like lands more if I wanted something that was almost more, I would almost even say like shandy-ish. Like, it's almost if I wanted more of a shandy, but they didn't have one, or couldn't have one, or maybe I just didn't actually want a shandy, but it gives the same vibes to me as that.
Mix this with a shot of grapefruit. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to back with the sips again. Hang on. Let me... Just in case there's some element I'm missing of it, like with recency bias. I do think my normal Jaipur is a lot warmer than my non-alcoholic, but I don't think my non-alcoholic is too cold. I think it's because it was the fridge it was in is more like a chiller. I think it is just different, but I don't, like I said, I've had, for me, I don't even think it would necessarily scratch the beer itch, because if I was wanting a beer, like, this just isn't, I think because it's so thin, it doesn't pack the same punch of like what I personally would be going for a beer. But like, if I wanted something on the lighter side and I wanted a shandy, or I wanted just something more interesting to drink, like, I would have that, and it would not be a problem. Other people might have it and go, yeah, actually, this is the type of beer I would like. This is more akin to what the style that I like anyways. Yeah. I just don't think it would scratch that Jaipur itch for me, in my opinion.
Okay, fair. I mean, if I was a designated driver and it was the non-alcoholic beer option, I would buy it. I think is my overall decision.
I think it depends on the day for me. Like, I think it depends on...
Not like, but if you're not drinking beer, then you tend to go for soda.
I'm drinking
anyway.
Exactly.
I don't. So
like, that's why it
depends.
So, it depends on my mood. Like, I don't really. If it was this or juice, like, let's say they were like, we don't have any, like, so, like, say they were like, the only thing we have is like, it's this, or it's like one of those craft pot, like soda pops, where it's like not like Coke, but it's like I don't really like Dr. Pepper, but you have ones that make like similar to like Dr. Pepper. Like, I'm probably going to choose this over that, just because I don't like the taste of things that are like Dr. Pepper. If it's juice or this, I'm going this, because I don't drink a lot of juice out and about. It's just too much sugar. So I think if they didn't have a Diet Coke and it was full fat Coke, I probably would choose this. So it's just like, it depends on my feeling on the day and what the options are. Because I just, like you said, I don't tend to go, I'm going to go alcohol free if I can't have a beer. I just find something else.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the history of Thornbridge? A potted history. So they were founded in 2005 at Thornbridge Hall in Derbyshire. I know, 20 years ago. So Thornbridge is the brainchild of Jim Harrison and Simon Webster. They shared a passion for great beer and a vision for creating something special. They asked David Wickett for advice. Now, he was the owner of Kelham Island Brewery in Sheffield.
Oh, interesting.
And David told them they should absolutely start a brewery, mainly because he wanted them to brew extra beer for Kelham Island.
There's no cheekiness behind that. No cheekiness whatsoever. That's
and now, since
hidden interest,
because we nearly lost Kelham Island as well because of all the things, but Thornbridge does now actually brew the Kelham Island beers. So
I did not know that.
Like if you they brew pale rider now. So if you get a pale rider, it is brewed at Thornbridge. So they decided to do it. They were like, "Yep, we're gonna make this brewery that's gonna end up eventually brewing your beers for you, David." And they began in an 18th century stables on the Thornbridge Hall estate, which is in the Peak District National Park. They started with a 10-barrel brewery, and they were focusing on innovation and quality. So I think that's definitely something that I think of when I think of Thornbridge, which is like quality beers. They gained acclaim with early successes at beer festivals and by winning awards. And as it says on the can, Jaipur has won over 100 awards.
Over 100? That's good going.
Over 100 awards worldwide. They wanted to look at traditional brewing with a modern twist. One of the things that I think of when I think about Thornbridge is definitely kind of they have managed to bridge that gap between doing traditional English beers. Like I expect to see some Thornbridge on cask, especially when I'm up that way. I expect to see Thornbridge on cask. I expect to see them making things like, dark milds, for example. But as well as doing then these air quotes newer, as they were especially in 2005, American IPAs and things like that. And they do kind of bridge that gap between interesting and new and traditional. And then that's really helped them because then they've been able to get those different types of beer drinker in, and that's helped with their success. They also have done a lot of collaborations and done limited edition beers, one-of-a-kind beers. But interestingly, where they've done collaboration, like we love a collab in the old craft beer world. Some of the ones that Thornbridge have managed to do, they were Timothy Taylor's first ever collab.
That's wild.
Yep. Timothy Taylor's never done a collab until they did one with Thornbridge a couple of years ago. And the beer that they brewed with Timothy Taylor's was called Artisan. And it was an elderflower and gooseberry pale ale. I definitely had that at a Peakender a couple of years ago, and it was very refreshing. They also were the first people to collab with Budvar outside of their home country. And they recently did a collab with Garrett Oliver on their union system, which they rescued from Burton-on-Trent. Now, if you don't know what a union system is, keep your eyes peeled, because we're going to talk about that in another episode, because talking about the union system... I feel like
it needed its whole episode.
that needs a whole episode, so...
And I think like you geek out on it. You geek out on it so much. I did try to get you. I did try to get you a specific one that you wanted. I missed the Burton Ale.
I'm really sad about it. I really wanted.
There was none.
The Burton Ale, and I missed it. Like we were talking about buying these, and I'd gone on and been like, yeah, there's some stuff we can buy. And then we went away, and I think we did it a couple of days later, and the Burton Ale was sold out by the time I got there to ordering these. And I was like, no, and I haven't been able to get.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't even beat you to ordering. Like we've done orders.
No, yeah, sometimes that's what happens.
I didn't even beat you to it.
No.
There was none. And I tried to buy it when I went to Thornbridge. Yeah. There were none there. No. I did look. There was not one to be found.
No, so I'm very sad. If anyone's got a Burton Ale done on the union system by Thornbridge kicking about that you'd like to share with me, let me know. I
mean, if you've got two, we can use
Tori
it.
We'll use it in our.
I'll try it
in our union on our union system. Episode, and we will credit you. So then they decided that they wanted to brew an interesting beer, an innovative beer. So that's when they came up with Jaipur. At the time in 2005, bold American flavors was they were only just kind of coming over here, and to put like Jaipur next to a British IPA, vast difference. Like they are like there's more harsh bitterness in a British IPA than an American IPA. It's more malt focused, and the English hops that are generally in an English IPA are kind of more earthy and herbal and floral than these big citrusy flavors that you're getting from American hops. So it's very, very different for drinkers at the time. So it was hugely influential. It kick-started many drinkers' love for hop-forward beers and their love for craft beer. Over the years, Thornbridge has continued to refine and perfect the recipe. They've adjusted it to maintain its classic appeal, but also embrace new techniques and ingredients. And they've also adapted it for different formats. So you can get it on cask, keg, and in can. So I've got it in can
and
today.
bottle.
Tori's got it in bottle. You can get it on cask as well. So there's
you get a 330ml bottle, a 500ml
yeah.
bottle. They're offering it.
Yeah,
all the ways. You get 440ml can, 330ml can.
And it's been so popular that it has been around for 20 years. And then because it is the 20th anniversary, there is a range of types of Jaipur that you can currently get. There is a pink grapefruit version. There is a hazy version. There is, talking about collabs, they've done Thornbridge have done a collab with Northern Monk, and they've done a Jaipur Faith mix. There's lots of different versions. There's limited edition cans out there that have got a different logo on them for the 20th anniversary. So if you're into your Jaipur, go out and find all the different ones. And
they've
also
got table sauce. They've got literally just called table sauce. I think that's potentially part of my favorite thing about it as well, is it's just Jaipur pineapple and mango table sauce. It's great. I will say as well, so I visited the brewery, and I think what was really cool was like, I'm annoyed that I didn't get the stuff, but actually it probably works for the best because we didn't end up barbecuing anyways. But you could get meat. It's like, so when you went to the brewery, they had like the area that you could buy cans to go. It was huge. I only stopped by just to literally pick up cans and go. And Bakewell was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
Bakewell. Yeah.
It was just so stunningly beautiful just driving through. And then, we went to the brewery just long enough to get beers to go for camping and give the dog a pee break. And I went in and I was just like, it's what, like they had a whole fridge of just like meat. Like, I think it was like nicely butchered, like sausages and steaks and stuff like that. But it looked like, and I can't say for sure because I didn't buy any myself, but I think they might have like used some marinade or something.
Right.
That was like the beer, infused it with the beer. And I was just like, oh, this is, if I knew for sure that I was going to be barbecuing and I didn't forget the cool box plug at home, 100% I would have been buying some of that to go. If it was closer and I thought I would keep on the really long drive, I would have got some, because it just sounded like it looked really nice and sounded delicious. So if you are going camping around that area and you need barbecue meat and you need beer, that's your one-stop shop. They looked like they were doing really nice pizzas as well. It smelled lovely.
So the tap room's amazing. You didn't stop in the tap room, you just popped in and bought stuff?
Yeah, I didn't actually stop and stay, but we saw pizzas that were coming out and it smelled amazing, looked amazing, very dog friendly, it was really deceptively big.
Yeah, it is much bigger than you think it is. So it's not on the Thornbridge estate anymore. It's now out like just above Bakewell. So if you are staying in central Bakewell, you can walk out to the tap room. It's a lovely walk along the river. They've got the brewery out there now and the tap room. You kind of walk along, and it's it looks like it's another one on these like industrial estates. They've got a big bench outside, and then you go in. And
I was definitely on a big industrial estate. I didn't expect I think for me, I didn't expect the ceiling to be so high. Mm-hmm. So they're across like two different buildings on the estate. And then
they've got all the pallets of the cans are in behind the tap room as well, so you can see all the different cans over there as well.
They've got like three buildings. They've got like one building, another building, and then where their tap room and I'm assuming warehouse is. And it literally, it's like when I was walking up to it, we parked by building 1 and we were like walking towards it, and like obviously I didn't drive by it initially. Yeah. We were just walking towards it. And so I kind of expected it to be like normal industrial ceiling height. And I didn't really think about it until we turned the corner and I was like, oh, that's a really high ceiling.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it. And it felt so much more open and spacious and big than I expected it to be when I sort of like was walking up to it. So.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it is currently no more. Don't know whether, fingers crossed that maybe one day Peakender, which was Thornbridge's festival, might come back. And that was on the Bakewell showground. So you could camp there, then you could kind of wander into Bakewell, get yourself a proper Bakewell tart made in Bakewell, and then wander out to the Thornbridge tap room, have some lovely pizza and some lovely beers, and then come back again. It was a good time. Like,
it's controversial actually, because
I loved Peakender.
You said Bakewell tart. I googled it because when I was there, Rick's the one thing he wanted. He's like, "Well, we've got to go by Bakewell anyways. I want a Bakewell tart." So I was googling where to find the best Bakewell tart in Bakewell, and I mean, I got some responses on my Google that was like, "Do not call it a Bakewell tart. It's a Bakewell pudding."
What, a Bakewell tart and a Bakewell pudding are two different things.
I was told they're same.
No, I don't think they are.
And I was like,
"Oof, no, they're different."
Oof.
They're different because I had to get a Bakewell tart for Gordon because he likes Bakewell tarts. He doesn't like Bakewell pudding. And I got them from the Bakewell tart shop. But I have heard that the Bakewell tart shop isn't the best place to get them. But
the Bakewell tart shop was shut, so we went to another. We went to another. We went by multiple because we had a fast array. So
yeah.
I know that they're not for me because they've got fruit in it, so I was not interested. I tried it and I was just like, I got a chocolate Bakewell tart because I told
you there was chocolate ones.
Well, I got a brownie. It was like a salted caramel brownie, and I don't think it was really like same. It was like someone's like, "Oh, we got a Bakewell tart. We might as well use the tins to make brownies."
Yeah,
it was nice. But I'm sure it just hits different than a person that wants and enjoys Bakewell tart. So.
Yes, can highly recommend staying in Bakewell and visiting the Thornbridge Brewery. Like, good times will be had.
We'll do a double header. You can do one night in Bakewell. If you've got a camper van, this is what I'd recommend. One night in Bakewell, and you go to Thornbridge, and then you do one night in Buxton, and you can go to Buxton Brewery. And if you stay at the campsite that I stayed at, it's like literally a 5-minute walk to the tap room, or 10-minute walk, sorry. And the food's really nice and the vibes are really nice, and like all of that area, I think they're both perfect for 1-day adventures. So I think like if you were going on a Friday daytime, you could spend like one whole Friday and then an evening at the tap room, and then a whole Saturday and an evening at the other tap room.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lovely weekend away. We are not driving massively between the two.
Yeah. So I was just having a look. And I was having a look to see when I first drank Jaipur. And I had my first Jaipur in 2016.
That's an interesting concept to look at that. I don't think I really checked it in that much, to be honest. Because it's saying the first one that I had, which I know is not factually correct at all, was May last year at the Market Cat. No. Yeah, and I was like, there's no way.
That's not true.
I was like, there's no way that the first one I had was last year. That's
no.
The lie detector determined that was a lie. But I had it in York. So
mine was at home. I think I bought it in the supermarket. Must have been, I think I got it in the supermarket. So I think it was when it was first ever in the supermarket, like 2016.
I feel like I've had it so many times, like from the like when buying before. I feel like before supermarket beers became what they became. Present day wise, that was like one of the beers that I go to. There was Jaipur and there was the green can, Green Mountain. Yeah, those would be like two that I would get from the supermarket. Yeah. And like you're right, I think Jaipur is very accessible, like a lot of different palates, I think, as well, like British palates nowadays. I think, I don't know, it depends, because I think the way that craft has moved, you might have some people that are like, this isn't for me, but I do think it's really accessible, where like, you're right, it's what you said, where like younger people enjoy it, older people enjoy it, like it's not like this hype style, like Jaipur is not like a hype style that just comes and goes. I think it's something that has longevity, obviously 20 years of longevity.
I think
as well with food and snacks.
I think that's what I was going to say. Like, if you're a newer craft beer drinker, don't be put off going and grabbing a Jaipur and giving it a go just because it's not, hypey hype. Like, it's a solid beer. Give it a go. See if it, it could just be, a fridge. It could be a nice fridge filler for you. It's been particularly delightful on this very warm day that we've got right now.
God, yeah, I know. R.I.P. these glasses, because I feel like they deserve better. Like this beer deserves better. I do think, like, what I'll say is, I think, like, the way the label is, like, I really like the pattern on the label, but I could see how if you were a younger person, newer into craft beer, and you're surrounded by all this hype, and you're trying to figure out what to get, like, I feel like there's a potential that it might come, like, the way that the labels for these type of ones, the core range ones, come off.
Yeah.
Almost might give you a sense of more like traditional feel, and then you might go, oh well, that's not what I'm looking for. And I would agree that, like, don't let that put you off by, like, your unconscious bias of what you think it's going to be because of how it sort of looks on the outside. But I do think, like, that's what I feel like I've come to think of Thornbridge beers as being exactly what you said, like, quite a while ago. That was like quality, but also, like, nailing so well more traditional styles, but, like, in such a high quality, like, it really bridges that gap. And I feel like so many people, like, when I went to the tap room, like, when I went to go pick the beers up from the tap room, like, there was such a diverse age range of people sat around drinking as well. Like, it wasn't like it was all younger people or all, an older crowd, or like crowds where it was a bit, like, it was literally so diverse of all different crowds of people. There was loads of people with dogs, there was people with babies, there was, strictly just like older groups of people there, strictly just younger groups of, like, kids that looked like they were like lads just hanging out together having a beer. Like, it was a really interesting, like, diverse range. And I just find that they do that so well, of making such high quality, and they make traditional style, in my opinion, feel more accessible and interesting to a younger generation.
Like, they just make solid beers, like Market Porter, solid beer. Lord Marple's, solid bitter. Like, find a Lord Marple's on cask. That is like, well kept on cask. That is a thing of beauty. Like, back in the day, do you remember how popular Florida Vice was? Like,
I bought so many of those.
Raspberry Berliner Weiss, like, just, yes, Florida Vice, yes please. Like, disappeared for a while, and then they brought it back, and I was like, yes please. Like, I know this is, like, no question, I know this is an amazing beer. Like, and then you've got, like, when they make, like, a big beer, like the what's one that I really like? Days of Creation, which is a Flanders Red Ale. Like, so good. Necessary Evil.
I've got some bottles of Necessary Evil. A few of those ones kicking about, like, that I'm storing.
And then, Lucas is a solid lager. I used to love the Lucarias when they were all in different, like, we got them all in the different flavours. Strawberry, salted caramel.
I remember the strawberry one as well. Like, the strawberry one was so good. Oh, they did one, I think it was a salted caramel one, that I'm thinking, like, that was really nice. That was really, really lush.
Yeah. So
I liked, I had, when I went to the Market Cat, I remember having Phelan, just because I was like, that one's like my dog, but it's spelled different. So I was like, I need to have that one, because that's obviously the best one, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing it the way they intend for it to be pronounced, but I'm like, to me, it looks like it says Phelan, and that's the name of my dog. So that's great. Looking at Untapped. So if I look at Untapped, ratings wise, it's got 133k check-ins. Do you want to take a stab at what the rating is overall?
3.9 because people are dicks.
3.54.
Oh,
which I think, so for
I felt like 3.9 was low.
My group of friends, it's 3.67, so slightly higher caliber than the majority. But it's like, I think that's genuinely wild. The one thing that does come up on the details is like malt, Maris Otter. Like, yeah, no, nailed that one. Next. But yeah, it's wild that it feels like it's not higher up in terms of rating. I rated it like in the high 4s when I was still rating things. And then on Beer Advocate, there was 3,096 ratings. Do you want to guess what the average rating was of it on Beer Advocate?
Is Beer Advocate still out of 5 or is it out of 10?
Oh, I think it is out of 5. We'll say out of 5. We'll say out of 5 because if that's not out of 5, I'll be really sad.
Bad. 3.7.
Yeah, 3.76.
Oh,
hang on. Oh, no, that's the brewery. Sorry, that's the brewery itself rating. That's the brewery itself rating. There's 609 ratings. I clicked the wrong link.
Only 609
ratings. I know. So that was the overall brewery ones. That was my bad. 609 with 223 actual reviews.
Okay.
It is ranked number 11,349. And okay, do you want to guess the average rating on this one? Because that means nothing to me. Where I'm like 11,349 means nothing to me.
3.5.
3.98.
Oh, it is higher. Okay.
So the American audience was a lot kinder to it, and I wonder if part of it is maybe like.
I mean, maybe they have a better
people that are on Beer Advocate.
Yeah, they're more. I think people on Beer Advocate are more discerning. No shade to our Untapped.
I think you're gonna get people that are like, how dare you?
Listen,
I am distinguished. I am distinguished.
I'm not saying that like the people that listen to us know what they're talking about, but let's be real.
You're all distinguished. We love you. You guys are distinguished
that have no clue what they're doing, and I had a very intense conversation with a brewer
sour taste sour.
But like at a festival the other day, who was like, I was just like, can you just log out of your Untapped account, please, because you're going to like kill yourself if you keep doing this. But he was just like, yeah, this guy rated our pale ale really low. So I asked him why he did it, and he said, well, it's not as good as your Imperial Stouts, is it? And I was like, and it's like, you can't compare a pale ale to us.
They're not same.
They're not same.
They're not same.
There are people like that on Untapped. This is my point.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go as hard as you were on that. I was just going to say it's got a score of 89, which I think that's out of 100. So it scored 89, which is very good. But I think that's because there's multiple different ways that people rate on Beer Advocate, and I do think, look, I think especially people that listen to us, they are distinguished AF. Yeah. And I do not question anything that they say or do or rate. I think it's all great.
You do you.
Joe's the horrid one, not me. I'm saying really lovely things to you.
I'm just going to say that there are distributors who aren't buying breweries beer because of the Untapped rating. I'm just saying.
I can't. That's a whole, like, we don't talk, like, not that we don't talk about it. That is
that's a whole other subject, but that's just what I'm saying.
That's a whole other rant.
There is a reason why Tori and I have decided not to rate our beers this year.
For that reason. Yeah. Amongst other things. But I think what I notice is on Beer Advocate, people do put a lot more, as a whole, people tend to do a lot more attention to detail on specific tasting notes. Whereas I think people sit down and they will do a tasting like we've walked through this, we've gone, here's how it looks, here's how it smells, here's how it tastes, and they will go and make notes like we have done before when we've but that is like their whole, like, they're not checking it in. 9 times out of 10 they're not reviewing if they're not doing all of that. It's very rare that I see a review on Beer Advocate that's just like thumbs up, liked it, it was good, it tasted great, or like didn't like it. It's normally quite detailed in comparison, but I think it's probably like how users use it and the groups that actually use it, and it's not user interface wise, it's not as easy to use in that regard as Untapped. So I think that's probably why it's a different type of person doing that review. But not shocked that they probably rated it higher on Beer Advocate. Did you have? Here's a question: did you have any fun facts? Because if not, I've prepared something.
I don't, but I do have the pages that it appears in certain reference books if people want to read about it. So if you want to go find out a bit more about Jaipur, you can find it in 1001 Beers to Try Before You Die on page 513. You can find it in 300 Beers to Try Before You Die on page 20. You can find it in Modern British Beer on page 109. And you can find it in World's Greatest Beers on page 39.
You can also find it in the United Kingdom of Beer, page 97.
Go!
So there you go. We had to do it because we had to cover it. Because, like, look how many books. And the World's Greatest Beers book, Pete Brown being like, "This is a great beer."
Yeah,
so I'm like,
Pete Brown says it's great.
I'm not going to argue with Pete Brown.
I'm not arguing with Pete Brown. He's lovely.
I'm taking his word for it. I'm not arguing with him on that. This is slightly divisive what I've done next, but some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. But...
Oh, here we go. Did you speak to our AI overlords?
I did. I want to caveat with.
Okay.
This is definitely not something that I could have probably made something like this, but this was just a bit of fun using AI. And this is not something that I can necessarily just outsource to another person and have another person do. And I will also caveat by saying I physically need to play with AI as part of my job because I need to better learn. I'm not giving you the details, but I have to learn to play nice with AI as well. So I try to do it in the ways that are the least impactful to other people. So the way I've done it in this regard is I asked if Jaipur were a person, who would they be? And I didn't specify one way or another. I just said who would they be? Give me the rundown. And I think the reason this is interesting compared to the reason why it works, this type of thing works with AI, because I do feel like we live in a time where I have to sort of explain this, is the reason it works is because obviously collating everything from the internet about Jaipur and creating it in a way that I couldn't creatively do with my own brain for sure. But I just basically said, can you give me the rundown of who Jaipur is as a person? So the name is Gavin Thornby. He is age 42.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what his occupation is?
Oh, does he work in IT?
He doesn't. No, it's arguably even better. So he's a freelance brand consultant with a side hustle, running a vintage motorbike Instagram account, and occasionally he DJ sets at the local craft beer festival. So that's our Gav. Let me tell you a bit about him. Let me tell you more about him. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? So Gavin Thornby is the kind... I want to be really clear. These are not...
It's not a real person.
These are not my words. Not a real person. I know it's very believable. Not a real person, number one. Number two, what I'm about to read to you is not my words.
Okay. Ominous.
Gavin Thornby is the kind of bloke who's been around the block but never lost his edge.
Oh.
Hailing originally from Derbyshire, but now living in a tastefully converted semi in a buzzing suburb outside Manchester, he's equal parts polished and punchy, just like his namesake beer, Jaipur by Thornbridge. Known among his friends for his firm handshake, floral shirts, and sharp opinions about glassware, Gavin discovered his love of craft beer in the mid-2000s and never looked back. He's got an encyclopedic knowledge of hops and will casually drop the word Citra into conversations about everything. About everything from summer barbecues to marketing strategy. He was into IPAs before they were cool, but he'd never say that out loud, unless you just cracked open a can. Then he might. I added that part, then he might. Oh. So that one was my words. Gavin is charismatic, but not overbearing. He's comfortable hosting a tasting night one He's comfortable hosting a tasting night one weekend and hiking the peaks the next. Always first to share a playlist and never shy of expressing mild outrage when a pub serves an iconic pale ale too cold. He's dependable, complex, and refined, with a citrus twist and a bitter finish. Everyone knows a Gavin, but not everyone can keep up with him. I've also got his likes, dislikes, and his signature phrase.
Okay.
So his likes include indie record stores, bold typography, travel documentaries, and artisan crisps. His dislikes include watery lager, poor head retention, and people who say it's just beer. And his signature phrase is, it's all about balance, mate. Flavour's nothing without structure.
Okay.
And do you want to see what he looks like?
Have you got a picture?
I do, yeah. I will share my screen. Hang on. I need to find the right screen to share. Feast your eyes. Do you like his floral shirt?
I like his floral shirt. He's got a pint of Jaipur.
It's white. I'm going to say the wildest thing about this photo is the hand, the fingers.
He's got the right number of fingers.
I'm borderline scared now, because I always said I'm not scared of AI, because you know, they can't take over if they cannot get the finger count right.
Yeah.
5 digits.
Yeah.
Holding the glass in a normal way that you hold a glass. This is problematic. Because he's holding it like a normal, he's not holding it like this, or like with a 7th digit in there. Wild. That looks like a photo.
Wow.
So Gavin Thornby, I thought I have to play around with AI for work, so I was like, might as well put it to use on doing something that might entertain.
Oh dear.
Please pay your artists and your writers accordingly.
And photographers and writers. Oh dear. All right, well, that's Jaipur. If you haven't tried it, go and give it a go. If you have, let us know what you think about it. Tori, if people want to tell you what they think about Jaipur, where can they get hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll share. So I think when we do our plugs, we should share how we both feel. Do we feel like it's a top bucket list beer, a top rated beer? I think I can absolutely see why, in the context of all the things, the history you've given and the taste of it, and how long it's been going strong, definitely worthwhile of being a top rated beer. If you want to come berate me for my AI, that's fine. I will allow that. Just know that I have to do it for work. So I'm sorry. You can come find me on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism, or you can email me at adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com, or you can go on my website, which is adventuresinhoptimism.com. But I've written another draft that has to do with stopping by Bakewell and then visiting Buxton, and there were some top tips there, but I've not published it yet because it takes so much more brain power than I have physically had these last few weeks to actually go and properly proofread it. So maybe it will come out. We'll see. I've got a busy week and a busy weekend. So if you want to follow the both of us, because we're going to get up to some shenanigans together at the weekend in person, you can find us both on Instagram at A Woman's Brew, or you can email us at awomensbrewpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us online at awomensbrewpod.beer, BEER. Joe, if people want to talk to you about your experience of trying Bakewell Tart and wandering around Bakewell, where can people talk to you?
You can come and talk to me about Bakewell. It's a lovely place to go. Also, I would say this is a solid beer, and it may, if you're new to beer, if you like, your hypey hypes or your interest in flavours, this might not be something that you're drawn to, but you should definitely try it. And especially if you're trying to expand your beer knowledge, it's a solid choice to learn about American IPA, learn about beers, and where the beers that are being created now came from, and what where UK craft scene started. You can come talk to me about that on Instagram. I am Love Beer Learning over there. I'm also on Facebook, but you're probably more likely to find me on Instagram. Or you can come to my website. I actually have a blog post on Jaipur that you can have a look at. And that is lovebeerlearning.co.uk. Or you can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. All right.
Let's go turn the light on. It's dark. I'm sweating.
Yeah,
and it's hot.
All right. You're going to finish this
Cheers.
in the heat. Cheers.